So just the other day, it was the 100th anniversary of the birth of Leonard Bernstein. And I came across a quote of his. Music can name the unnameable and know the unknowable. That's something I feel rings true. I think sound can stimulate people's imaginations in a way that words and images might not necessarily. My earliest exposures to jazz made a deep impression. So typically, I tend to write music from titles. I mean, there are lots of other people who come into gigs or recording sessions with the word Untitled written on the top of the manuscript. But for whatever reasons, I work the other way. It may be a matter of music that's dedicated to people like my wife or my son or my father or Barack Obama. But in this case, a lot of the things that are weighing on a lot of people's minds were present in my thinking, simply because of the way things in the world are going these days. The US election in 2016 was a big shock for me. And I probably didn't know quite what to make of it. But in the end, it seemed that a positive thing that I could do is write some music because I was simply thinking more about politics and society and what I wanted to see happen and what I think was going wrong. It was heartening for me to write this music and to present that music to other people. You know, because when I wear my other hat, I'm a journalist, I'm a pretty rabid consumer of news. So I'm inspired by things outside rather than how notes fit on top of chords or how rhythms can dictate things. And these are all essential considerations, but I think the thing that's coming first is something like climate change is terrible and we're not doing enough about it, or people are being killed en masse in gun violence situations. Sea levels are rising and the temperatures are rising, so what if a rising melody, a minor key, are musical manifestations of these notions? I don't want to be overly programmatic about these things. It is up to people who hear the music to make their own meaning from it. And then perhaps after that, if there are these extra musical things, you know, a story behind its creation, or simply a title and a few words, then they can make the connection that they see fit. I'm not really in it to make myself rich. I'm more in it to enjoy this experience of creation and say something through music that is true to me. I would be happy if this music was understood as fuel for activism. If it encourages people to address the world outside of them, not let things slip away. If it encourages people to be kinder to others and to think more of others. It's been a long time since I cracked open books in university about politics, but I suppose I'm thinking about politics as serving a greater good for a larger community. And I think there's a connection between being a person who does good through politics with simply just being a good person. It flows from that. Music is an attempt on my part to do some larger good. through an art form, through something that's beautiful, through something that unites us, something that can connect us with listeners. I'm going to go out on a limb here and cross my fingers that the arts in general can have a role to play. I mean, I know it's the way that culture is going. Things are impermanent or disposable, but the best music lives on. Whether it's protest music from the 60s by Bob Dylan or John Coltrane. Music had power then, and it has power now. It's still relevant. I would never say that what we're trying to do is of a similar caliber, but perhaps it's of a similar motivation. And if you take art and music that's of this orientation together, then maybe there's some strength and hope in numbers. So I feel blessed to be making this music with these friends of mine because the way my life has turned out, I don't do music all the time. I don't get to live in music and work in music 24/7. So it's really quite special for me to be able to do this. This particular get-together is based on the friendships and the musical chemistry between these people. And to come back to politics, I know that the other guys in the band are aware, I guess, of my political or social inclinations. I don't know if they are as strident or explicit in terms of their own feelings, but I think that they are roughly in line with me. I'm a little uncomfortable speaking for them, but I think that they're happy to be making this music, not only because it's fun and gratifying to play as music, but as well because there's this additional thrust behind the project.